AMG Hobby Talk number 102. We are back. Blair still got his Kelly Gruber jersey on, but that might be because he never left. If you watched last week's episode, he's in the same spot wearing the same jersey. Steve, did he ever leave?
Sometimes I don't even know if Blair ever came either. So
It's true.
I'd like to think he went home and washed the jersey, but it is vintage.
Yeah,
This
we're
is like
okay.
a fan of the opera. This could be like a fan of the opera moment. He might have like a sub basement in the mall somewhere, and he just hangs out there. But yes,
Yep.
but Blair, you may as well have kept the jersey on because at the time we're recording this, last night they had a historic World Series. No joy in Mudville, not exactly.
Nope.
We were talking a little bit beforehand, and I'll spare all of you, but I don't have good words to say about anybody involved. And by that I mean the Jays or the Dodgers, because the Jays, they blew some opportunities, and the Dodgers, I was not impressed with your performance. To quote GSP once upon a time, I was not impressed with your performance.
Mhm.
In the end, they won. That's the only thing that matters. It's winning as it matters, especially if you're gonna have a game like that. But I wouldn't be beating my chest too much because that wasn't a definitive. It took you $400 million to barely squeak out a 18 inning game. But the Jays also blew infinite number of opportunities in that one. I actually
Mhm.
watched the majority of it. I was listening to you guys chat before we hit record. I actually watched. I tuned out after the Jays failed to score on the 18th, and it was the bottom of the 18th where finally it ended. And the reason I tuned out is because I'm watching the game, I'm watching the flow. If you can't, in the 18th, if you go back to it, the Jays actually did have an opportunity. They did threaten. They had the chance
Mhm.
to score a run there. They had two runners on. And when they failed to cash that in, I'm like, okay, you guys are not going to score tonight, which means the Dodgers, it's only a matter of when. Not a
Mhm.
matter of if, it's a matter of when the Dodgers get one across the plate.
What I wasn't impressed with was the 1,100 texts in our group chat. During the game, I silenced the chat twice, and finally they kicked me out of the chat because I was getting irritated. Um, but some of the things were fun to read, but some of them were just a waste of a ping on my phone. But they enjoyed themselves. That's all that's important. And everyone's got little tiny slits for eyes this morning. Uh, if nothing else, win or lose, the Jays are they're putting on a good show where people said they're going to get swept or LA is going to mop the floor with them. They're
They're not.
representing, but I agree
Mhm.
they could have put the game away several times.
I don't like the idea of just looking for consolations. The reality is they were supposed to get crushed, and they were not. They won game one definitively. Game two, they were in it for the majority of it.
Yeah,
They
that
just
was a
couldn't
good
hit
game.
against Yamamoto.
Yeah,
And game three, once it got to a certain point, nobody scored for basically 9 innings, regardless. Both teams, all these offenses, all these players that
Mhm.
can hit all these home runs and everything, nobody could score. And
True.
my disappointment for the Jays is that their bullpen, which had challenges and had moments where they shut out the Dodgers inning after inning after inning, but it was the Jays bats who needed to help them.
yeah.
I will say Vladdy Jr. still managed to get a couple of hits in there. I will. The problem, Steve, strategically, is that because Schneider decided to do a lot of maneuvering, the only guys who really were getting hits were basically out of the game by the ninth or 10th inning. So we're sitting there like Kirk is on the bench. He's
Yep.
he's the one who hit the home run. He's the only one who has multi hits. So he's on the bench. He's not doing
Yep.
anything. Bo Bichette is on the bench, and I'm like, most of your guys who got any hit, they had 15 hits in that game. So it wasn't like
Yep.
they had no hits, but most of the guys who were getting hits, most of them were on the bench. And I was
Yeah,
like, so I don't have any hitters and I need a run to win this game.
yeah. And I kind of watched an inning here and there throughout the night as my phone was exploding. But and by no means am I a baseball manager, but yeah, I did not like some of the, as you mentioned, whether it's Bichette or Kirk or whatever, getting pulled. Boy, when they pulled Kirk there, and that guy just kind of jogged into third for the, they overturned the call, but he didn't slide. He didn't do anything. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk could have done that and still been in the game.
Yeah. So it's easy to do Monday morning quarterback, but the
Yeah.
reality is that there were opportunities missed. Let's just say it that way. They did have opportunities to see, and it would have been a good one to steal. If you had stolen that one from the Dodgers, that would have really hurt them because
Mhm.
but the opportunity was there. So to your point, Steve, they did put up a good fight, which is good. We'll see. By the time we do have this conversation again, it'll be resolved one way or the other because you
I
got
guess
a game. Go ahead.
I guess on the flip side too, by by taking Bichette out earlier, Kirk a little bit earlier, hopefully they'll be a little more fresh than some of the Dodger guys that had to, be on the field for 18 innings. But at this point in the year, it probably doesn't matter. It's win at all costs. But that could be a little bit of strategy as well.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see how that works out on that one. My suggestion, obviously, like I said, we're recording this on Tuesday. This episode will drop on Wednesday. My strong suggestion is, especially after how tired everybody is, take some pitches because they're gonna get Ohtani tonight, and he was out there for the whole game and everything. I don't think he's gonna be that tired, to be honest. But if he shows any weakness, I would pounce on it early because they're gonna need to score early if they actually want to take advantage of the tiredness of everybody and see if they can steal one, because that'll get them back to Toronto. They need to steal one here. If they can find a way to steal one here, it gets them back to Toronto, at least gives them a chance to try. So that's it. That's our baseball analysis for the moment. Blair will continue wearing the uniform for the duration of the episode, but let's get into some of the other segments here. So first, I'm going to get into the comments. Thank you, everybody, for participate, as always. So if it's not time sensitive, you're welcome to put something in the comment section, and we'll get to it in the following episode. So let's go in here. Winston here says, another great video, guys. Love the show and tell. Another item I used to own, the Jerry West. So in reference to last week's episode. I cannot get on the Blue Jays Blue Jay train, but I don't like the teams that money is no issue, basically, buying the World Championship either. So I'm on the fence with this one. I was hoping that Blair's jersey was Pat Borders. That's fair. That's a valid call-up. He would have had a buyer with me. Thanks. So you see, if it had been Borders instead of Gruber. Pat Borders, 1992 World Series MVP. So Rob here says, watch the Joe hit live from JR's in New Minas. Man, they were great times. True. Speaking of the Joe Carter home run. Yes, absolutely. Gotham Collections is back. Great video as always. There will be no Go Sens Go until further notice. So it has clarified they have clarified their position on this.
Well, they won last night.
Yeah,
it's true. Well, look, for me at least, this past weekend was a mixed bag, but it was salvage. Sunday Night Football, the Packers did win against Aaron Rodgers, and I was greatly entertained by that. So I got something out of this, Steve. Game 2 did not work out, but the Sunday Night Football game, that worked out great.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about football this year. My
football
pool has imploded, other than I did take Green Bay to win Sunday night. So, yes, that was good. But, on the NFL football side, it's tough to pick winners this year.
It is. Yeah, there's been a lot of weirdness this year, for sure.
Go Colts.
Rob had one other comment here. No disrespect meant, but Blair looks like he stepped out of Field of Dreams movie. If you build it, they will come.
100%.
That's what I've been doing here in the late hours. I'm building a miniature ball field replica.
I like it. Good times. I like it. So thank you, everybody, for the comments. And again, if there's anything that's not time sensitive, you're more than welcome. Throw it in the comments section. We'll usually follow up on it on the following episode. If it is more time sensitive, I'm leaving links in the description. Little scrolling ticker across the bottom there. Those are the best places to reach out to us. And that way you can get your latest information. And then when we go in through a couple of the things that we've got coming in, that's the best way to get pricing and availability on anything you have questions about. That is always the best way. On this episode, we're going to focus on 24-25 Upper Deck Premier. It is a single box. It is a handful of cards. It's a feast or famine product. We give you the warning about that. We talk about it with Ultimate. We talk about it with Cup. We talk about it with Black Diamond. There's a bunch of products that Upper Deck has like this. Always double check the checklist. We will give you links to all of that so you can look at basically what the mock-ups look like, but also be able to check out the checklist and confirm that you get stuff that is of interest to you. We'll showcase that a little bit as well. One more quick piece of housekeeping that I will share with you that is pertaining. The Toronto Fall Expo is coming up here shortly, really quickly, because this week we're going to be a week out. So it's actually rapidly approaching. So a week Thursday will be the first day, the VIP night for the Expo. So we're getting close. Next week we'll have a regular episode here because Steve and Blair are not going to be in Toronto, but AMG will have a booth. We'll also confirm the booth number and everything for you next week. So we'll get all that information to you. But the floor plan is already out. It would surprise me if they're not in a similar spot the last time, but we will confirm, so we're 100%. One thing I can confirm for you as well, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can see this, is we talked about the Hockey Card Gong show, the repacks and everything that happened. Well, apparently they sold out of those, at least from their supply of it. The AMG folks, I don't know if you guys have any, but you can confirm that.
Yep, we're out as
You're
well.
all out of those?
Yep.
All right. So this is actually not the same one. This is the version 2. This is a second one that is Expo exclusive. So it is another complete set. There is a separate checklist for this. It is available. So if I remember, I'll throw it into the link as well for you. But this is the social media post that is promoting it. The reason I'm pointing this out is it's 100 hand numbered boxes. So it's very similar concept to the other one. The pricing is on the social media post here. It's 325 Canadian is what they've got it listed at. And it's available at the AMG booth at the Toronto Fall Expo. So amongst other things, again, we'll give you more details about the AMG presence and the plan and everything. I'm telling you this because Gong Show has already promoted it. The information is already right there. So you see the information and everything, and it's like just like last time, the checklist is available on their website, so you can see all the stuff that's on there, and you can take a look and see if that's something of interest to you. Good stuff. All right, so I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way so that you all knew that was coming up, especially since the expo, as I said, is approaching rapidly. So now, let me pull up some items that are coming in. Pricing and availability, feel free to ask directly to the store. That is always the best way. So just a handful of items, including the new one. 2024 Donruss Optics Football Blaster. 2025 Panini WNBA Donruss. That's the new one for WNBA.
Mhm.
Again, pricing and availability, check in with the store because some of this stuff is either restock or may have limited supply. So do double check because that's the best way to know what's available from AMG. 2026 Topps Basketball Series 1 Retail, the flagship product. You've got some restocks on one touches and backboards from BCW. So always the supplies are always critical. And then 24-25 Upper Deck Premier, which is the main one that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Any notes about any of those things that we want to make sure we cover?
Like you touched on, limited supply. I think the football is a restock, and they sold out right away. But again, limited supply. But no, this week the big one is Premier.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of items that came in the shop, and then we'll get into Upper Deck Premier. So let me share some of these with you. I did not sort them, so in no particular order, we'll take a look at them here. All right. We're going to start off here with a 2018-2019 SP Authentic Connor McDavid SP Essentials autograph on there. So we got a nice on-card auto. This one's numbered to 10. PSA 9 on this one. Demidov, here Young Guns. This looks like the acetate. So we've got the see-through acetate on this one, which is very sought after. All the Montreal Canadiens fans, they are after Demidov big time on this product.
And a customer pulled that in store, so I asked if I could take a picture of it, and he then sent it off for grading. So good luck to him.
Very nice.
Cool.
So it's a good showcase piece. Again, same thing as everything else that we were just talking about. Some of this stuff will be available at AMG. Some of it's already been accounted for, but regardless, we wanted to show it to you. But regardless, if it is available and you are curious about it, always reach out to the store. That is always the best way to double check because sometimes it is. Sometimes it's still around and maybe you can make a deal on it and you can ask. Here we got Absolute, Justin Herbert, the Kaboom. So we got that in the PSA 9 if you want your Kaboom. So a little football. Then I'll do UFC. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. Khabib. We're going with Khabib. We're going to go with Legendary
Good
Signatures
choice.
Gold Prism in a PSA 9 from 2022 Prism UFC. I know my limitations, Blair, and pronouncing very long Russian names is not my thing.
Me too.
Yeah, and that's a fairly big card, of course. In that time, he was probably the guy. I think he retired undefeated, and of course, this one's out of 10. So yeah, the two UFC cards came in a week or so ago, and we don't get much UFC in these parts, so there were two nice cards to add to the showcase.
Absolutely. Here we've got Nate Diaz, who I'm a lot more familiar with. I'm familiar with both guys, but Nate Diaz is more my time watching a lot. So this is from 22 Donruss UFC. And then we got the Hollow Purple Laser autograph on here. The signature
And that
series.
one's out of 15, so another low print one.
Very nice, very nice. Here you got a nice group of vintage, graded vintage as well. So we got 3 Daryl Sittlers across the top, 2 Bobby Clarks. This is all O-Peachy. All O-Peachy across the top and all O-Peachy across the bottom, including Bobby Clark rookie, Daryl Sittler rookies, and a Guy Lafleur from 71-72. Oh, 72-73.
Yeah, and the popular cards as well. I actually like the PSA 7 Daryl Sittler was very strong, but I actually like the PSA 4 Sittler over the PSA 6, and actually that showed as well because the 7 and 4 have sold and the 6 is still available. So sometimes, like we've talked to before, the eye appeal can be better than the actual grade the card receives.
Absolutely. So to finish off here, like I said, no particular order. So Blair gave us this one, brand new, fresh. We got Artifacts Blueprints, but it's bleu prints.
Hmm.
Got to follow with it. So we got Patrick Waugh here, out of 24. I don't know what is the material piece out of. I'm not familiar with what they ended up using for this one. I think maybe did they end up using a blueprint on this?
Actually, I
Was
end
it
up
like
having it right here.
That's
Yeah,
what
there's
it
like
is. Yeah.
I actually have it right here. I think
Oh,
there's
okay.
like a blueprint of
The
the
forum.
the form on the back.
okay?
Yeah, probably can't see it. Oh yeah, you can see it.
I like that they at least indicated on the back. That's actually helpful. That's
Yeah,
actually
it's
very handy.
kind of neat. Blair actually did something well while I was off that day. Good job, Blair. I like that
Yeah.
guy.
There you go. Yeah, we
But
did mention when we did the breakdown of artifacts that they were trying to use more unique memorabilia pieces because they have done in the past the ticket stubs pieces. They've done those. They did the one with the ticket from the retirement night. That was the most recent one. They did the piece of material from the Madison Square Garden, from the bench. That was one that they had on there. So they've done. I had forgotten. I saw obviously the blueprints thing, but I didn't realize they literally went with blueprints, and then they went with the pun on the front of the card. So I have to give them a little bit of credit for that one. That's a decent idea. That's not a bad call there, Blair.
yeah, that was in a lot of artifacts. I guess we were able to buy back a whole chunk of cards from a customer who bought it, likes ripping, and wanted to kind of trade some back in for some more products. So it was kind of cool that one was in there.
Nice, nice. And going back to what we've talked about in the past, I always said, it's worthwhile checking the checklist. And I was talking about it during the preview when we did that particular product. I'm always looking for the Medanos there, and I think he's only got 2 cards in the entire series. And I kept an eye on it. One of the things we've talked about, it's a tip. I say when a product is brand new and people are opening it, that's when some stuff comes out of the woodwork early. So sometimes it's helpful to keep your eyes open because sometimes you can grab it early. And I'll just quickly share here that I did pick up the benchmarks Medano from
Oh,
Artifacts. So I acquired that one very
that's
early on
nice.
in the release. So it is a nice piece. They've got the nice on card auto and everything. But like I said, some of that stuff comes out of the woodwork early. Some of it you got to wait a little while. But especially some of the tougher ones, at least have like a save search or something because sometimes it just appears. And then some of that stuff just appears and then it kind of disappears quickly, especially if it's one of the tougher cards. So double check the checklist. It's worthwhile taking a moment because I might not have realized it was there had I not been scanning the checklist and known to be looking out for it when the product first dropped. All right, so let's get in here and we're going to go to 2425 Upper Deck Premiere. I'll start off. What I'm going to do, it was funny because I got a little call out, Steve. The Gong Show guys have their own checklist website. And I hadn't really navigated it. So, they said, hey, do you want to use the checklist website? It's like, I'll look into it. So what I'm going to do is I'll include a link to it because I will say that the search feature on it is pretty good. Right now, when I'm looking at some of these products, the formatting the Beckett or GTS uses, I do prefer visually scrolling up and down when we're showcasing it here. But I do think the search feature is a little bit better in terms of what they've done. So it's a mixed bag. I'm going to give you both. That way you can decide and you can choose which one works best for you. So we'll start off here and then we'll go from there because this one's got some mock-ups as well that'll help us get a better visual. Okay, so here's what we got. So we're going to start off with, I already told you, it's a very high-end product. So again,
Yep.
bear in mind when you come in and check out the pricing in the store, and I'll give you the configuration and everything here in a moment, but you just got to bear that in mind. And a couple of familiar staple and inserts are going to be shown to you here in a moment. So base set is 150 cards. So you got 3 sections broken down. 90 veterans out of 299, 10 greats out of 99, and 50 rookies out of 399. Gold parallels are numbered to 25 for vets and legends, out of 175 for rookies. They all have 1 of 1 platinum versions. So again, as always, double check the checklist because that way you'll know who's available, who's in which section and category. And as you can see, there's different ratios depending on which one it is. Boxes have 2 base cards or standard parallels, 1 for each from the veterans or greats and rookies. Select base cards also have autograph versions. So your vets are 1 in 4 packs, greats 1 in 125 packs. So you can see big short print comparatively. So you got to make sure you factor that in. Rookies are 1 in 3 packs. You've also got gold and platinum parallels. Base jersey cards include parallels with patches, neckline pieces, and other premium relics. So here in Premiere, this is an example of kind of your autograph there, basic autograph design. Again, in hand, some of them will look a little differently, but this will give you at least an idea. Autograph-wise, you've got a number of them. You've got the acetate autographs here as part of it. Depending on the player, they're numbered to 249 or 99. Parallels come in two
Mhm.
levels, gold out of 65 or 35, and the platinum 1 of 1s. So the Stankoven here is an example that they're going to give you in terms of that. This one is the out of 65 version with the patch piece. It is a mock-up, but it gives you the general idea what to expect with the acetate. There are also horizontal autograph patch cards. So there's a couple of variants of this one. Those ones are numbered to 99 or under. Gold out of 25 or less, and platinum 1 of 1s. Acetate veteran auto patch cards also have it on there. None of them have more than 49 copies. So again, you can see the checklist breakdown is actually a little bit complicated. It's staggered. Veterans have different ratios than rookies, which have different ratios than regular veterans, and legends have a different ratio. So there's different ones, different numbering schemes. So double check the checklist. Otherwise, it gets really confusing really fast if you're not paying attention to all those nuances. In terms of other autograph memorabilia, you got your Premier Focus autograph patch, Premier Rookie Focus out of 99 or less, Viewpoints auto patch out of 99, 2004 Premier Auto Jersey, so that's a retro out of 99 or less, First Opus Rookie Auto Jersey out of 35, Grand Opus Auto Jersey out of 15, 2004 Premier Rookie Auto Patch out of 15, your Premier Focus Autographs, Premier Penmanship Autos 1 and 5, and Old Style Signatures, which is a very funky design. I don't know if we got one of the mock-ups, but I'll see if I got it here. 1 in 18 packs are among the other places to find signed cards. I'm going to take a breath. You see, it's getting complicated,
That's
Blair.
heavy. It's heavy.
We're good. There's a lot going on. And I haven't even gotten to a personal favorite. You can already see it there.
I see.
Do you see it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
coming. We got to have.
Do it,
Today I
Carlos.
got it. I had my orange juice, so I got a little bit of juice in me. Hold on. Mega patch. We got to do it.
I love it.
See, today I had it in me. Today I even after 18 innings, Blair, I still have it. So I expect the Jays to come out firing. Steve, if I can be there for most of those 18 innings, then I expect things. I came in. We're doing it. All right. So you do have these. And obviously, gigantic memorabilia piece. These are very popular because people love seeing the different configurations of them. They are very limited, a lot of them. So this Celebrini, for example, would be a very popular pull. Hand numbered at the bottom as well in a lot of cases. So just bear that in mind. And they do specify where the patches are coming from. So like in the bottom of this example, it says shoulder patch right on it. So they will specify these things. So they've got chest logos, shoulder logos, sleeve numbers, and commemorative logos. So if you like your memorabilia pieces, these are nice, large pieces that show up. These are great show pieces for different collections. So a lot of people enjoy those for that reason. The Mega theme carries over to Jersey and patch cards 2, 3, or 4 players because they do have multiplayer versions as well. Mega Jersey Duos have 49 copies each. Premier Duo out of 99, Triple out of 49, Quad out of 25 jerseys also available. And they have patch parallels. And then we got Rookie Patch-taculars and Double Rookie Patch-taculars. Similar concepts. So you can see there the Will Smith and Celebrini, an example of that. And then we've got as well other kind of memorabilia pieces. So here's an example here with a McDavid. So you've got jersey and patch box with relics, other equipment like pants out of 35, helmets out of 35, equipment bags out of 35, hockey socks out of 35, and skates out of 15.
I kind of like it, but
that's deep.
I question how durable it will be. Like, does it kind of affect the condition of the card? Neat concept. We shall see how durable they are as they start. People start opening them.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things where I will tell you that obviously with a lot of, so like for this skate example, I would expect that to be a very thick card. I would expect it to be very recessed into the card so that it doesn't stick out too much from the outside of it to kind of protect the card. The best way is to have it embedded in the card, but then you're going to need a lot of depth. So you're going to need a thicker card. So when you're pulling it in your pack, you're going to be able to tell if you got one of those because you need space to fill that kind of equipment. So that's just a mock-up there, so you can get a bit of a sense of it, but that's an example. And then this is one that's kind of a new one they decided to try. The Premier Twine line out of 25 also makes its debut. They have pieces of neck cord from important games in a player's career. So this is kind of a thing where the neck cord thing has been, similar kind of thing has been done. I think the little twist that they put on it is that they're actually associating it. So for this example here, you're actually seeing dates and specific games and times for this player. So this, for example, you got a game in 2015, a game in 2017, and a game in 2018. I believe if they're associating it to those specific one, that is an interesting little twist, Blair, to have it be even more specific.
Yeah, it'd be cool if it was signed as well. Looks like there's room for a signature down there.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it in this version, but maybe, Steve, that might be something they can hold back because next year, if they bring it back, then they could add that additional twist. And that would give it a little bit extra legs just to give it a little something extra. But an interesting concept. I appreciate whenever we're actually associating it to an actual game and we're being really specific. Even if it's twine, Okay, but at least you're linking it to something exact. We
Yeah,
can go back to a certain game and see what was going on with Ovechkin that game.
yeah, especially in a high-end product like this, like just to have three pieces of net necessarily not, if you pull that, I think, oh, that's kind of neat. But now that it's associated with dates and the player's career, I think it just adds that little twist. That's good.
For sure.
Yeah.
So additional memorabilia: Premier Attractions jersey 99 or less, Premier Gear at 49 or less, Premier Gear rookies 99 or less, First Opus rookie jersey out of 149, and Grand Opus jersey out of 149. See, simple, piece of cake.
Oh yeah, got it.
Yeah. All right, so here's what you're looking for. You got 6 cards per pack, 1 pack per box, 10 boxes per case. Your set size 150. It's coming out this week. Pricing and availability: reach out directly to the store. Use the links in the description. That's what you should be looking for. What to expect in a hobby box: 1 autograph patch card, 1 additional autograph, 2 memorabilia cards, and 2 base cards or parallels. That is the configuration. Again, it is feast or famine. So when you're opening it up, understand that all the value is probably going to be held in a handful of cards, and that's basically how this game is going to be played. A lot of these, honestly, have become more and more breaker products. But if you're feeling the gamble coming on, there are some nice cards in there, possible. But it's just you have to be aware what the odds are. You saw the list, the sheer number of different versions and quantities. So be aware of that. Please utilize the checklist. It is critical that you understand exactly what's in there because you don't want to go in blind. On a product like this, Steve, I know we've got a lot of money to splash around, but on a product like this, you really want to go in with your eyes wide open, knowing exactly what's going on.
Yes, and like we've mentioned, it's not necessarily a product for everyone. It is a feast or famine, but there really are some high-end singles in there. So just know what you're getting into when you take on these higher-end products, and most people do.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. So like I said, I will provide you 2 versions. I wanted to go over because the breakdown was very handy for us, but you can see as always, you got different tabs that you can go in there. And what I'll do is, like I said, since they're obviously friends with the store, I will show this off as well, just so that you have it. One example of something that you can do. And like I said, I'll include links to both of these. So here's the hockey checklist site. It has a similar breakdown to what we just saw a moment ago. So it's got it in a different format for you. But then on the checklist here, you can actually drill down by player or team. And you can expand a lot of these things. So there's some features on here that I
That's
like.
helpful.
Yeah. And then what I like here is that you can actually break it down. Here's all the subsets and everything. And you can punch in. So like say McDavid, we can punch that in. And then it'll actually scan through and it'll find here's McDavid. And then here's the autographs, different ones that you can get for him. So there are some handy features on here. So I'll include both of these. You can utilize whichever one works best for you. You can use the list on one with the download the PDFs and Excel file, and then this other one has a search feature on there, so you can narrow it down to favorite players and teams. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anything else that we want to touch on those ones? Because that's UG Premier, I think, in a nutshell.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yep, good job. It's a really there's some really nice stuff in there, but it's feast or famine. Yeah, you're really looking for specific cards, but you can get some really beautiful stuff in there. And I think we should touch base on the card show of the weekend. Had another good turnout. A sellout as far as dealers again. Me and Steve were commenting. Actually, I don't think it was the busiest one, which made it actually great in the store because it was more. We had time to interact and chat with customers and be a little bit more helpful instead of the kind of constant just grab something, check out, that kind of thing. But it was still pretty consistent all day, but great turnout, and seems like there was no hiccups as usual. Everything ran really smoothly, and I think it was another good show.
Yeah, no, the last 3 or 4 shows, since Blake's come on board with his organizational skills and that, there's been, like Blair touched on, no real hiccups. Every now and then there might be a blunder, but that's life. One thing we will make note of is trade nights. It was another successful trade night. We kind of got together Friday and decided for now we're not going to do the trade nights the night before the show. We decided we just want to visit it and see what we can do to revamp it, whether maybe we put it on a different night Uh, we've mentioned maybe during a Saturday at the store where we're busy anyway, just have some more interactive things. Um, we've noticed a little bit of a change in the trade nights since when we used to host the card show in a different location. We found our trade nights, there was just a different crowd there. But now that the trade nights the night before the show, maybe people are thinking, well, I'm just going to go to the show on Saturday anyway, so I'll forgo going to the trade night. So we just want to brainstorm, find out how to get all forms of collectors to attend the trade night. So for this coming month, there will not be a trade night before the show, but we're definitely going to do something. Change is good. So we've had a good run doing this, and now we want to see how we can make it better for everybody.
I think that's a fair call out. So yeah, we'll keep everybody posted on that, what adjustments are made to scheduling and everything. The next card show is already established. We've got the dates and everything. We'll talk about it in the next couple of weeks. We'll give you all the reminders. So we'll get back to the schedule. It'll be fun. Now, also, you folks can enjoy this Friday coming up here. It is Halloween. So it's spooky season. Blair is going to be there as the Ghost of Blue Jay Past. Yeah, he's there as the Ghost of Blue Jay Past. So maybe we'll switch over to the Pat Borders and it'll change our fortune, Steve. We need to move up to Pat Borders here. We need a little more help here. Winfield wants noise, Blair. Winfield wants noise.
I might have to get my daughter to hand draw a Pat Borders patch, and I'll stick it over the Gruber.
Yeah, we need to do something. We need to change the mojo a little bit here. Close, but we need to change the mojo. We need a little bit help to get over the top on this one. But regardless, we'll figure that out. So anyway, we'll leave it at that on this one. Again, if you got any questions or comments that are not time sensitive, but you still want to ask them, you can put them in the comment section. We appreciate the engagement. Hit the like, because that's always appreciated. Hit the like for the Kelly Gruber jersey. Do that. And otherwise, like I said, we'll have a little bit of fun. There you go. Nice. Hey, it's got to use it. If you have it, why not use it? Like, I'll report back my findings, Steve. But after like this past week and everything, I have actually ordered a brand new Packer jersey. I've had an Aaron Rodgers one for a while, and like for my reasons, Aaron Rodgers it's not a jersey that I necessarily want to be wearing, so I'm gonna have another one made. So I'm in waiting for that one. So we're gonna have some fun. But regardless,
well played.
Time sensitive questions, something more urgent. Use the contact points. Reach out to the store directly. That way you can get a direct answer to your questions. Because again, while we can't tell you pricing on stuff like that in this venue, pricing and availability, if you contact the store directly, they can answer that question directly for you.
Yeah.
If it's less time sensitive, then the comment section is perfect, and then we'll catch it on the following episode. So for Blair, cosplaying as Kelly Gruber since last week. For Steve, the Collector of Scallop Collector People, episode 1 and 2 is in the books. Thanks very much. We'll catch you in the next one.